What up? This is July from Kickback Couture, and today I'm gonna go over how I set up my drum template with Umpf. So, if you were here from the beginning when I started this past Thanksgiving, November 26th, approximately 2017, I'm joking, but if you were here when I started this YouTube channel, you know that my template was comprised of red drums. So that changed into the drum sequencer over time. I got rid of the red drums. It was red drums and NXTs, then it was the drum sequencer and NXTs, and then I was able to replace NXTs for the most part in my template, and now I'm using Umpf. So I'm going to show you how I set that up, and just like I did with my previous templates, if you do not want to follow along and set this up yourself, you can purchase it on my website. I will make it $2 or pay as you please. So you can pay $2 for being lazy, or you can just throw me some cash if you want to support the channel. Either way, let's get into how I set this up. I'm going to start from scratch. So, instruments. Where's that though? Well, okay then. Propeller head software. There it is. Umpf club drums, or Umpf, whatever. Let's get it in. Alright. Okay, so we have 8 channels here. So what we want to do is create 8 mix channels. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to just create the mix channel. Once you flip over, it won't be routed. You can hold down Command and hit D to duplicate it. Hold down Shift to select the other one. Command D to duplicate again. Hold down Shift to select all 4. Command D, and now you have all 8 of your mix channels. What you want to then do is hit Tab to flip over to the back, and this is really easy. We're just going to connect it just like this. One thing I like to do, since this is 1, I connect the first drum to the bottom mix channel, but it is completely preference. It just makes more sense in a linear format, in which that's how they created Umpf, with 1 at the bottom, and I don't want to confuse myself by thinking the kick is at the top if it's at the bottom, if you know what I mean. This is literally, whoops, all you have to do. I didn't mean to do any of that, minus the improper routing that I just did. 6, 7, 8. That's it. That is all you have to do, literally. So once you start adding drums, let's go ahead and look into this Raven Wings drum kit, which you can get on my website. Looks just like this anytime you like. Let's go ahead and add Hunt. Cool. So now when this drum plays, we will see it on the meter down here. Obviously we can't because it's all the way down there. So let's go ahead and add a kick on number 8. Now we see that it is working. Great. Next question, how do we set up the player? Well, that one's pretty easy. Just drag it up top. 1, 2. Pretty simple, right? So that is how I created my drum template. And as you can see over here, it looks exactly the same, except for the drums are loaded in Umpf, and I have my mix channels labeled. So what you want to do is go through and label these 1 through 8, whatever your drums might be, or you can just leave it blank until you start making your beat and you add your drums from there. I do want to mention that whatever insert effects you add here are completely separate from the ones here, and you will still be able to use both effects. So let's say I add a bit crusher here on 8. Let's go ahead and mute one. I can still also add an insert effect here. So, for example, I can add reverb, which definitely wouldn't be an insert effect. It would be a send effect, but for the sake of this example, we're going to add reverb. Let's go ahead and add the echo. Now we hear that they are both working. So you can use each of these effects on their own. Awesome. One side note, although you still have access to chop, delay, reverb, you automatically lose access to the compressor because, as you can see, we cannot see anything going on here and the compressor is on. But as soon as we disconnect drum 8, we see it acting right here. So keep that in mind if you do want to use that built-in compressor in Umpf, then you don't want to use mixed channels. However, you can always put a compressor in this insert effects channel. I prefer to mix this way because I mix everything up here for the most part unless I absolutely have to go back to the rack. Other than that, I don't like having all of this in one bus coming out of one sound. I want to be able to alter each sound individually and add effects that are outside of Umpf. Nothing at all is wrong with Umpf. The effects in it are great. I love them. I use them in a combination with outside effects. But for example, there's just things it doesn't have. Like if I want to use a transient shaper on my snare, there is no transient shaper on here. You understand what I'm saying? There is nowhere where I can sharpen the attack. I can turn it down from here if I want to, but I can't make it hit harder. I can't add a, let's say I want a specific preset in Decimort or Decapitator. It doesn't have that. So this just gives me that freedom to do more with my drum sounds. So if you like this video, give it a like, comment, subscribe. Most definitely let me know what you would like to see next. It's all culture, kickback, and cook up.